this is actually the second piece of furniture that we bought to upcycle, change, convert into a bathroom, vanity, cupboard, whatever you call it. The first one we put in place and it was a little bit too fancy for our rustic bathroom.
And a bit big.
And it was much wider and much deeper. Then we found this and we were very happy. Must have had pads on here before to protect this, which are a bit worn now. Like, you can feel it's fabric.
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
that's cool.
Like from a pool table. The plan is...
Oh, I'm glad you've got a plan, because I really don't know where to start with this.
I have a beginning of a plan. Is we're basically going to use from here down as a cabinet. So the drawer will stay, the doors will stay. They need a little bit of adjusting and fixing. There used to be a shelf in here, which we don't have, but we might make a shelf, depending on where the plumbing comes in. No, that is not where you go. You check it out. See, there's no shelf, right? Yeah. So yeah, and then this will come off. What I would like to do is to use this on top of here as the worktop. We need to cut these sides down. So we're going to take the back off. We'll see if we can pry this out first, then this off. We'll unscrew this. I don't know how that's attached there, but we can unattach it here. And then it's all about cutting these two sides off and seeing if we can use this in any way, shape or form. Because it has this really nice detail, though most of that will get lost when a sink goes on it. And we have this nice sink that actually sits down into the vanity. And then we also, of course, have to get the plumbing to go through here somewhere and still have a functioning drawer. So we'll have to
modify the drawer. Yeah. So it does sound like Kylie has the beginnings of a plan. This is the first time that we're going to be doing something like this, upcycling a piece of furniture, and it's going to start with a bit of an undo.
Nope.
Drawer. Is that one okay?
No.
Well, that's annoying.
Something similar for my sewing machine.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they don't really fit either. They don't go into it deep enough.
Give it a spray?
Yeah, it's barely a cut in the screw head.
Maybe it's actually a nail.
Yeah, maybe. So it's definitely a screw.
It is a screw, okay.
They're long. Or they're these... Oh no, they're like these...
It is a nail.
What are they called? These serrated nails. Okay.
Okay, so we can just pry it.
Yep.
There
Yeah.
you go. This is looking quite well.
Yeah, this is a bit thick. We're not really trying to save this piece, but...
No, I know, but still.
But still, exactly. This must be what it was originally like. So it's a veneer with a varnish on it. And then because has come along on the outer surfaces and sanded off the varnish, and with that it's taken some of the stain. Because you can see here where the veneer is chipped off. So if we don't get too many holes, we can be able to cut this down and then reuse it for the back. Got it?
Yep.
These are the coolest mechanisms. That's the kind of thing I want for my crochet table. You ready?
Yeah, hold it.
Got it?
Yeah.
Maybe make the tabletop a bit bigger if we need.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's not a nice sound.
Oh, watch. Oh, that's where that trim piece is broken at the front here.
Yeah. I thought a paint scraper was such a good tool for dismantling furniture.
Oh, these are just coming out like that. Tell you what, I look forward to the bit when I can actually make something rather than pull something apart.
But there is something nice about taking something that is existing and giving it a new lease of life, rather than making something from scratch out of plywood and MDF and
I
stuff like that.
saw so many amazing examples of these kind of desks. I mean, I almost bought 6 of them because they're beautiful.
They are.
I mean, this one is just made of really thin ply, but I'm sure there's a couple of others that we did see that
we saw
were
bigger ones as well, much
and
bigger.
much made of proper timber rather than just lightweight ply. I wonder if it's going to support our sink.
We might have to reinforce it a
Might
bit.
have to reinforce it.
Yes.
There we go.
Beautiful. Oh yeah, easy. Nice.
Look at that. Tell you what, spring. Finally. No longer a desk.
Definitely not a desk. So I think our mini surgery session is complete. We're going to take it into the house and have a look at it in place so that we can make some final decisions about heights, about plumbing, about the worktop or tabletop that's going to go on there. So let's get it over to the house and take a look. Oh.
So much better size than that first piece we bought.
Yeah, isn't it?
Piece is too big to act as the worktop, but,
yeah, but we can
give the height a little bit
yeah,
better.
give us an idea of height. Oh yeah, this is going to be fine. It is going to sit down a bit, but currently it's a bit too high. That's ideal.
What is nice though is this plumbing, both sets, is going to be right in the corner of the unit.
Yes, so that's good.
If we cut a hole in the bottom of this, that's about this big.
Yeah, if we make
we'll
a bigger
be able to
hole.
bring this in and put it down over the waist.
Oh, we could just notch it out.
No, but there's a back bar on it.
Oh, is there? Okay, cool. Yep.
Okay, we've got a bit of wiggle room there, left and right, right?
Yeah, quite a lot.
Okay.
Well, we need to look at shortening the drawer, adding in some reinforcements.
Yep.
But then the bigger thing to work out is the worktop.
Yep, that's the big one. I thought this was going to be like a padded leather thing, but no.
It's like sticky back plastic. Let's talk worktops.
Yeah, this is the sink template. This is the front door that was flipping down on the desk. It is not big enough. So we are going to use all these materials to create a new worktop. This door, let's call it a door, is made of 4 panels that have got different grain directions. So they've got diagonal grain and we want to maintain that. So we're going to cut it along the join lines, move them outwards and then splice in some pieces from the other bits that we saved. This piece, which was the top of the unit, and it has grain kind of going horizontally. So we'll insert that into the horizontal long section. And then we want to try and maintain that grain in the other 2 pieces we need to put in, which we will use this and take a slice here that then slides into there. Cut this into 4 and then we'll start looking at these other pieces, what size we need them to be to make the worktop the size we need it to be.
So the short version of all that is we're going to take some existing pieces of wood, cut them up into smaller pieces and then stick them all back together again.
And then these ones will have lines going. But we could make these go that way if we wanted.
This was a really bad place to stand.
You can't go for the sawdust, did you?
Same.
Yeah. So, right, glue. Right, good.
So now you need to strip down the middle.
I'm not stripping for anyone, just saying. That's not a good edge.
Maybe we can sand it.
Or I might run it through this and just nibble off that.
Oh yeah, you could do.
But
yeah, that looks much better.
that's better. And this is a nice joint, so we'll prioritise this one.
Yep.
So, from a glue up perspective, where do we go first? We need to glue this and this.
Yeah, so we can glue those, and then I think we do a long one and a long one at the same time, and then we come back afterwards and we do the crossways.
It's very runny.
Yeah, it is. Needed 2 brushes, really.
Yeah. It's going to get glued to the table.
Yeah, but that's why we're using a plastic table, not a wooden one. You've got loads of working time, so there's no need to rush.
No. Just that these are, particularly these edges, right? Because we don't have a lot of. You're on the edge of the table. Up.
No, move the whole thing my way. There we go.
Okay.
So we need to coat the whole thing in glue? Or just a...
Yes.
Yeah?
Oh, that's way too much, my love. Just dab a little bit more out of the bottle.
No, I'm going to show that I use the perfect amount of glue. Shall we declamp? So it's just these parts, isn't it? So we need to clean these up first.
What do you mean, clean them up?
Square them up.
Yeah, so we just need to have these edges, just like I did on these, making sure that they are a good square fit.
Yep. Wind isn't something you normally have to deal with in a workshop, is it? Something like that.
Okay.
Are we ready?
So if you use this piece to give me a rough guide of how much glue.
Yep.
The sun is just not great. I don't know if that's the correct orientation that you handed that to me. This one definitely is. Just double check that other one, that I've put it back in the right orientation.
Yeah, just going to try and get the glue off of this piece of plywood for the other project.
Yeah. This glue is just drying up too fast in the sun.
Now we just need to wait for more glue to dry.
Cup of tea?
So you decided against a cup of tea.
So this is the side that's going to face the wall in the bathroom. It's got a little bit of woodworm damage here, and it looks like they've tried to paint it with something. So we're going to try and sand it back as best as possible. This side's not going to be seen, so again it's kind of a test run before we do the other side. And then we'll decide whether we're going to leave this in all its worn glory. They've definitely
Rustic
painted
nature.
It's definitely been painted or something over at some point. This is like paint or varnish that is coloured varnish. Anyway, here we go.
Good thing about having such a thin veneer on this is it means you can't do too much sanding. which is one of the slowest and most tedious steps of a whole woodworking project.
Definitely have much darker there. Let's just get a cloth. Oh, the sun is drying this so quickly and I wipe it down. So
it's going to look nice when it's oiled.
This piece, a little bit here, and I'm just going to work out what we do. This paint they put on looks horrible. I think I can go over that a little bit more.
I think you can sand that off, yeah. And this might be one of the first things that we've ever built that is a final piece rather than a prototype.
Maybe.
Look at that cat. Goodness me.
Living his best life.
Right, the cabinet is coming along nicely. We've squared up the top so that all of the edges are nice and neat and tidy and square to each other. But because it is mostly made of plywood, we have a challenge with the exposed edge. And we looked at it in place last night and we thought, yeah, it looks okay, but I think it needs some kind of trim. And so we've been rummaging in the wood store this morning and we think we've come up with a good option. Here are some options.
This piece is from a kitchen refurb we did on our first property, on my first property that I bought back in
2010, I think.
Yeah, 2009, 2010. Brought it all the way from London.
It's moved house with us 4 times.
4 times, 5 times.
And we're still not going to use it today.
No, but one day it will become something nice. It's an offcut of a worktop. It's Iroko, how do you say it?
I think Iroko.
Iroko. We're going to resort to this piece of, I don't know where I kept this from. When we moved into the house, what is now the kitchen was a workshop, and it was full of old offcuts of timber, and I kept most of them, any that were in good condition and weren't damaged. This is probably one of those. There's a nail there to remove, but otherwise it's a decent piece of timber. We will chop it up into bits, and then we might route an edge onto it of some description, or might do that on a table saw and then stick it on. Let's see. It's very orange.
Someone will tell us what species it is. So this is the piece that we've cut off of what I think was a bed rail, and we're going to try and make a profile similar to this, probably not as much of an angle. Success?
Looks like it. We really need to have 2 brushes so we can both be doing, because this is going to dry before obviously you can put it on. Just because the ply absorbs it as well so quickly. That's a lot of glue off.
Sticking?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is the distance there correct to do the other pieces?
Yeah, it's right on the corner.
Okay, this one is pretty good. But yeah, that gap, we're going to have to fill it somehow.
10.3. So we're going to glue this to the cabinet just because there's not a lot of worktop left and we want it to be as strong as possible because the sink we've got is quite heavy. Before we do that, we're going to do a test fit before we glue it just to make triply sure that everything is going to fit. Because you don't want to glue something and then realize it doesn't fit.
Yes.
So let's put... that.
And how are you feeling about the weight-bearing capacities of our efforts?
Well, that's not even glue and it feels really good.
Okay, excellent.
Most cabinets just have sides, right? They don't have... Sometimes they have a bit of support at the back, but the front is just for doors and things, so it's no different to that.
It's thick enough material to take the weight.
Yep.
Excellent.
Looks so good. I can't wait to oil it up.
Sorry, I don't know why I laughed.
Oil up the worktop.
Thanks for clarifying.
Okay, good. We can go do our glue up now and be happy. Or not.
Well, thanks for watching. See you later.
I'm asking you. I mean, once the sink's in there, nothing, the two pieces are not...
Yeah, maybe we don't need to glue them together, but don't want it to move around.
Feel it. It's not moving.
Oh, yeah.
The whole unit just moves when you move that because this is holding it to this.
Yeah, okay.
And they're exactly the same cut. So they don't have, it doesn't have any, and once this is siliconed onto here.
Yeah, that's true. Cool.
Yeah.
Job done. So that looks like a bathroom cabinet.
Not a desk.
Yeah, quite different.
The only thing we added was this one piece of trim. Oh, and a tiny bit of plywood for some bits of the worktop. So it cost 70 euros to buy, and the rest was just stuff that we had around. The plumbing hasn't been done, so we do still need to do some alterations for that. But we first need to fix this problem here. So it can be a little bit difficult in situ to kind of say, oh, it's amazing. But it is amazing. Really happy with how it turned out. The one thing that we learned from this that we didn't know before is working with veneers is really difficult.
It's really thin, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think these bits don't have veneer or have a different veneer or just have a wax or something, which is why the colour has come up differently. The same down here, this is pure timber. So there's some slight differences with how the colours have turned out. It also seems like the desk originally had this kind of a veneer on it and then a waxy or varnishy finish, and that the previous owners, or the previous owners to them, I don't know who, took that off, and not only took it off, but took it off and then stained it, but did a really bad job. So it was only patches on the side and there was a bit of paint somewhere. So there's a few inconsistencies. There's a few kind of marks, lots of etchings from whoever's desk it originally was. And I guess that's just part and parcel of upcycling if you don't want to strip it back and paint it. If you want to try and keep it as natural as possible, you're just going to have these inconsistencies. I don't know what they filled this with, but not a matched colour filler. So we wanted to kind of retain as much as that character and history as possible. And so that means you get all these little inconsistencies. And thankfully, this piece of timber that we put on, which I don't know what it is, has kind of blended in quite well. Not perfectly, but pretty well. So yeah, I would never do a veneer upcycle again unless it was something I really loved, because it was really challenging. And I will try and find solid wood next time. What are your thoughts?
I think it looks great.
Yeah. And it's, strangely enough, this top part of the worktop really matches up with the oak lintels. And so the hope is we have a couple of slabs to do an oak shelf here and oak shelves for the windows. And hopefully they all kind of match up in this same kind of tonal range as well.
Yeah, so I think for a first upcycling project, we did a really good job. It looks like it always looked like that, even though it used to look like a desk. And so I'm really pleased with how it all came together. Like Kylie said, it's really difficult when you put a new piece into a room to get a sense of how it will look, particularly when that room is not finished. So we're having a bit of a hard time kind of seeing it in its final setting, but as a piece of upcycle furniture, I think it looks great. Anyway, that is enough for now. We need to wrap this up so we can move on to the next project, which will also be in the bathroom. So another bathroom renovation video coming very, very soon. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.